Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas is being called catastrophic. Dorian made landfall as a Category 5 hurricane last night. You can see roofs have been torn off and cars as well as boats flipped over as the storm passed through the outer islands. Wind speeds of 185 miles an hour were recorded as the storm swept through those islands. While Hurricane Dorian isn't expected to make landfall in Florida until later today, a couple of organizations here are heading down there to help. Ohio Task Force 1 and a Dayton Red Cross volunteer are traveling to help with the aftermath of the storm. Ohio Task Force 1 is sending 85 members to respond, and Red Cross volunteer Gary Clark is spending the next 2 weeks in Orlando.
I'll be part of a disaster services technology group, and specifically I'll be doing communications. I also do transportation. I also do damage assessment. I'm also qualified to do shelter and feeding.
Meanwhile, Ohio Task Force 1 will likely be heavily involved in search and rescue efforts. However, they say they won't know exactly what they'll be doing until they get orders from FEMA. The Butler County Incident Management Team is sending an emergency response team to Florida as well to help with the incoming hurricane. The team, which is composed of firefighters and EMS personnel from more than a dozen Butler County and Southern Warren County fire departments, left Saturday morning for Florida. This is part of a 16-day mission where the team will work with Florida's EMA on what first responders and residents need during the storm. News Center 7 will continue to keep an eye on Hurricane Dorian as it gets closer to the U.S. coast. We will bring you the latest updates on WHIO.com and on our WHIO News app. Dontae has been keeping a very close eye on the Hurricane Dorian as it makes its way toward the U.S. coast. We want to get a check with him, but in the meantime here, it's 67 degrees, and here's Dontae.
Yeah, hey, so far, we're looking at the latest stats coming in, Letitia. We've got 165 mile an hour sustained winds and gusting up to 200. When this thing was crossing the Bahamas, the maximum wind speed that it reached was 185 miles an hour, and the gusts were up to 220 miles an hour. We saw waves about 25 feet across the Bahamas, so really devastation that's happened across the Bahamian Islands and still going on for that matter. It's moving towards the west at 1 mile an hour, so it's really moving slowly, almost stationary. There's that track and that cone of uncertainty there. Now, it's not expected to make landfall in Florida. However, the cone of uncertainty, you'll notice that these lines here, this is not the width of the storm here. What this cone represents is anywhere where the center of the storm could be. So we still could have a landfall in Florida, and we could have a storm that stays out to sea. But what the National Hurricane Center does is just take that center track right there and just uses that for ease's sake as the official forecast. So right now, the official forecast keeps the center of the storm offshore. It'll weaken by the time we head towards tomorrow afternoon to 140 miles an hour. That's a Category 3. It'll stay at Category 3 as it brushes the U.S. coastline and moves right on up the coast here. We could possibly see a landfall maybe somewhere around the Wilmington, North Carolina area by the time we head towards Friday morning, and it'll continue as a Category 3 and then weaken to a Category 2 by the time it reaches the outer banks of North Carolina and then up towards the Canadian Maritimes. Now, just because the storm may stay offshore doesn't mean that the impacts won't be felt. We're looking at tropical storm force winds around Orlando by tomorrow, hurricane force winds around Cape Canaveral and Daytona Beach, and perhaps right there at the Cape, 100 plus mile an hour winds as this thing moves right on up the coast, even into coastal Georgia. We could see tropical storm force winds by Wednesday night and into South Carolina as well. All right, a little closer to home here, we've got cloudy skies. We've got some patchy drizzle at times. Just to the south of Jamestown, we got a shower that's going to move towards Jeffersonville this morning. We're warm and muggy in the mid to upper 60s to right around 70 degrees, and we got some fog out there, and it could be dense at times. Foggy in Dayton, up in Troy, it's pretty dense. Over in the Greenville, some dense fog as well. So just a heads up to you across the area if you headed out early this morning. Mostly cloudy skies this morning, a little bit of drizzle, maybe a light shower. We can pick up a few showers here for the afternoon too, just as the clouds are starting to erode and we're getting some more sunshine. So by late into the afternoon, into the evening time, look for plenty of sunshine. It's going to be warm and muggy too, temperatures in the lower 80s. So even though we're ending summertime unofficially, it's still going to feel like it, especially tomorrow. Well, look what happens though Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So Tuesday overnight into Wednesday, we got a few showers and embedded thunderstorms coming in from the north. That's with the frontal boundary that's going to bring cooler temperatures, those cooler temperatures that I showed you just a few minutes ago. So 81 today, warm and muggy, decreasing clouds. But before we get the clouds to decrease, there could be a stray sprinkle, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or so. 63 overnight tonight, warm and muggy and quiet, clear skies. And then here's that 5-day forecast. 86 tomorrow, that's my pick of the 5-day. I love that one. Warm and muggy and sunny. It's going to feel hotter than that. 79 for us on Wednesday with a few showers and storms, especially for the morning. And then low humidity, sunshine, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s for Thursday and Friday, even into the weekend. And the overnight lows go from 67 tomorrow night to 54 on Wednesday night, 55 on Thursday night. Fall is coming back, Letitia.
A live look outside now from one of our ODOT traffic cameras. A view from I-75 at US 35. Traffic is moving well. The little bit of traffic that's out there on this Labor Day holiday. There is nothing outside of maybe wet streets that will affect your morning commute. It's 5:21 now and 67 degrees. A local donut chain is teaming up to help cancer patients. How you can get involved next.
Dayton's newest radio station, the hits of the 80s. 95.3 and 101.1, The Eagle. Try it today.
St. Louis.